That's really cool. So tell me more about your on-the-fly style, because it does differ from my more controlled style.
I only have on-the-fly style. Yeah.
I think it's really important for us to illustrate that it's not one style to rule them all. It's not a control style is going to beat the on-the-fly player. It is.
Yeah.
You adapt the style that's best for you. Ninjas, dinosaurs, sharks, and more are the hallmark of Stern's Deadpool, designed by George Gomez. In this episode, we dive into the physical side of pinball: nudges, bumps, slaps, and stances. Our guest is a fiery competitor that shoots on the fly, and she's ready to add a few tricks to her tool belt. Let's get flippin'.
Was the tilt always on machines, or was that something that got added?
Pretty sure that was added in at some point in the 30s. I'm pretty sure it was Harry Williams that invented it. It was pre-flippers, it was all nudging, right?
Yeah.
So then I'm pretty sure they had to throw it in there for that particular reason, because you could just lift it up and kind of wheel the thing around.
It's an equalizer as well for those folks, like I said, for those folks who are naturals at tilting and have the strength to do so.
Yeah.
You know, I love watching somebody tilt out a high score.
Especially when you're playing against them. Deadpool actually has a greatest tilt bonus. Like, I have the tilt record on here for the most bonus lost.
Really?
Yeah.
That's an interesting thing for it to
pretty
keep track
funny.
of.
Yeah, I feel a lot of shame.
Do you though?
No. Pride.
I didn't think so, yeah.
Fully proud.
I don't really do the tilt though. That's one of the things I'm trying to learn to do, but I feel like I don't have the upper body that some of you boys have.
So when it comes to nudging and making those decisions, it's 100% dependent on the moment. Like, if I want the ball to go a certain way, I have to impart that kind of...
Yeah.
And as far as like what kind of rules to follow, maybe it's not good to say there are no rules in nudging, because it's very personal. How I move a machine is going to make the ball behave differently than how you do it. If you bump a machine forward with X amount of force, and I do it the same way with X amount of force, just based on our physiology alone, the ball's going to behave differently.
Yes.
And that's what makes nudging so hard to teach.
Yeah.
Because there's no right or wrong.
Yeah.
But yeah, the first thing I like to teach people is just push the machine away from you, because you want the ball away from the drain. So the first motion is that way, because you want the ball to go that way.
Right.
So that's kind of the first rule. If it's going to the out lanes, push up, push away.
I hate tilting. It
is sad.
It's because you have only yourself to blame. And if you're having a really great game, and again, it's often because you just get caught up with the adrenaline of it. You're having a really great game, you get a warning, and you don't change your stance, and you just keep going for that high score, and then you get a tilt, and it's like, how many millions did I just flush down the toilet?
I want to go back to that actually, because you said, do I change my stance based on the amount of dangers I have?
Yeah.
Absolutely, and that's as a physical reminder to myself that I have two dangers, because if I don't move, I'm still gonna make those slap saves or push it or do something really dumb when I shouldn't. So I will make, like on double danger, I'll often stand up straighter and I'll just touch it, exactly.
Yeah,
Got
just
it.
the
Glass
tiny-
hands, just fingertips, especially if it's a multi-ball. Oh my goodness. Tilting during multi-ball is
The worst. It's the worst.
ugh, makes my stomach turn.
Yeah. Do you feel like, does the slap help in any way, or is that just your style?
When I slap it, I'm moving the flipper 0.5 millimeter in that direction. So the flipper is growing by 0.5 millimeter with that slap.
Interesting. And a little bit of a tilt, I guess. So
Yeah, like I'm not just, it's not just a little slap. Like I'm actually moving the machine a visible amount.
Do you have a favorite shot on this machine?
Yeah, I sure do.
I bet you do.
That snick shot is something else. So when you came up and I showed you that snick shot, it was like a brand new thing, but that is the game breaker. When I was first figuring this game out and I'm looking at all the scores and I'm going, how are people getting billions? Because I'm, walking away with a couple 100 million and thinking, well, I did a whole bunch.
Yeah.
What's going on? But anyway, so the snick shot, it basically doubles, triples, quadruples, and then 5 times your play field, as many times as you want to hit it.
Do you have a preference between playing a game like Deadpool that's based on a franchise?
I like original IPs in pinball, probably because I've just been around it my whole life. Pinball has been on my mind since I've been very young. So I've always liked the theater of magics and stuff like that.
Oh, yeah,
I'm trying to think of other ones off the top of my head. Fishtails is another good one. I mean, like stuff like that where it's a pure pinball machine and that's it. But I mean, you're not going to get, it's tough to get new players without that IP, which is I think why they go movies and music these days. Curb appeal is really important to pinball. People aren't going to put a coin into a machine unless they like the way it looks or sounds, because you don't flip it until you put money in it. So I mean, the theme is probably the most important thing. I don't like to put a lot of weight on it because it doesn't, when you're playing the machine, it isn't as important, but that curb appeal is the reason you put your boonie in.
Yeah, and when I'm in the arcade and people walk into the arcade for the first time, or they're not sure what they're walking into, nice.
Thank you.
And they see Iron Maiden, and they're like, the first thing they're like, whoa, Iron Maiden, and they play it.
Yep.
Not because they care about pinball, but because they care about Iron Maiden. So I get what you're saying. For you yourself though, do you gravitate, like your preference is original content, but do you gravitate to those for any specific reasons? Do you think there's a difference between?
It's pretty funny how I approach pinball machine. I will have a look at a theme, but I won't let it determine whether I'm putting a coin in or not. I will look at the layout of a machine first.
Right.
Then I'll check the leaderboards. mastered the art of lock 1, 2, and 3, but multi-ball ends in a blink, it's time to bust out some air defense. If you have one on the flipper and spot a ball heading for danger, aim for a ricochet and try to keep it alive. Use air defense to make the chaos work in your favor.
I find the thing that I like, instead of tilting, and maybe it's, certainly doesn't always apply because it's mostly just on multi-ball, but the way that I like to do it is using the balls against the balls, as opposed to holding, like so many people stall it and hold it when they're, they've got the multiple balls going on, they'll keep two on their, that's your strategy, right? I've never been able to do that. I've always wanted to just keep the balls rolling, and I'll just use them to, keep them from going down the gutter as much as possible, aiming at other balls.
That's really cool. So tell me more about your on-the-fly style, because it does differ from my more controlled style.
I only have on-the-fly style. Yeah.
I think it's really important for us to illustrate that it's not one style to rule them all. It's not a control style is going to beat the on-the-fly player. It is.
Yeah.
You adapt the style that's best for you.
It was actually quite gratifying watching the first season of your show, and you did an interview with a guy at the Goodwill, and he was talking about how, I can't remember what his name was, that he just likes to come in and just fly, just let it fly, and don't think too much about it, and just keep it going. And that's definitely where I am. Like I like the ball moving fast. I like ramps. I like flow. I like things. I don't like it when it stops the ball and then shoots it out somewhere different. That doesn't work in my brain. Although I have been switching up my game a little bit based on the videos that you guys are posting, and I'm trying to do more of that because I feel like if I'm not going to study the games, if I'm not going to watch the videos, and I'm just going to practice and that's how I'm going to get better, then I need to switch things up a little bit. Like I should have tilted that.
You could have, but you didn't have to. Yep.
I got a shit bonus probably.
You're doing good.
I have a competitive nature to my gameplay as well, so I know.
Consider yourself a competitive pinball player?
I'm definitely competitive, but I know that I don't take it quite as seriously as lots of the guys, and so I'm not going to be the best, which is hard for me because I want to be the best. But
to that end, you've played in both the women's and open league. Like you had success in kind of, I would say, all levels of local tournament play. Like you can hold your own against whoever wants to hold your own against you.
That is something, I didn't realize that until, and maybe that's why I didn't join the mixed league right off the bat. I only joined the mixed league last season, but the women's league just seemed a lot more welcoming, and I knew people that were there, and so I really enjoyed it. And then I participated in some of the mixed league tournaments, and I think the first tournament that I participated in, I got third place, and that felt really good, and I was like, okay, I can compete on this level because I'm a very competitive person, and if I'm not one of the best, I'm probably not going to participate. I'm not a sore loser. Well, I mean, I'm 40 now. I'm close to 40 now. I feel like I'm slightly losing my edge, and so I need to get used to, not being quite as young and able. But
I don't know. I think experience plays a pretty important role in pinball. I think the more you play, the better you get. So I don't think age is, apart from maybe reaction time, I think age can actually be a benefit.
but man, do I hurt after playing for a long time, and I definitely don't take it easy. Like it's, you know, when I'm gripping the machine, I'm gripping the machine. I get, you know, calluses on my thumbs from holding the metal edges, and my back starts to hurt from the lean over, and no matter what I do to try and change my posture to be, you know, better, it doesn't work. It's a physical game. It's not a video game, you know, it's a physical game.
And it shows, like when I'm approaching a machine, I like to take an athletic position, and people chuckle when I say that. Like, take an athletic position, ground yourself, bend your knees. Like, you really want to be in a comfortable position and be ready to move around. That is a brilliant shot you just did there.
The 3 in a row, that's
on the fly lock. That is.
I love it.
Chef's kiss.
Yeah, anytime
kind of
you can get a multi-ball on like the first 2 minutes of a game is pretty fun.